Good evening and a warm welcome. Thank you for joining us for Tuesday's edition of Primetime News. I'm Salima Shimwe-Feleni. In our top story tonight, Executive Director in the Ministry of Health and Social Services, Ben Nangombe, said Namibia is expecting a total of 290,800 COVID-19 vaccine doses from different suppliers by the end of July.
In a press statement issued on Monday, Executive Director in the Ministry of Health and Social Services, Ben Nangombe, highlighted that the country expects 40,800 doses of AstraZeneca from the COVAX facility, 150,000 Sinopharm doses from the Sinopharm Pharmaceutical Company in China, and 100,000 Sputnik Light doses from Gamaleya Institute in Russia. He said by mid-July, the country expects a further 120,000 AstraZeneca doses from the AstraZeneca supplier in Europe and 250,000 Johnson & Johnson doses from the African Vaccine Acquisition Task Team by early August. Namibia currently has limited vaccine doses available, and as of 24 June 2021, the country had administered 135,058 doses out of the 197,200 doses received. The level of vaccine uptake in the regions across the country is uneven. The ministry has been redistributing vaccine doses from slowly moving sites to those with faster uptake, especially to regions with high cases incidence and deaths such as Khomas, Erongo, Omaheke, Karas and Hardap, Nangombe said, adding that the ministry will continue to vaccinate as many people as possible with the first dose, while the majority of the second dose will be given as soon as the next consignment is received in July. This, he said, is in accordance with the World Health Organization guidance in case of limited vaccine supply. He further highlighted that the supply of COVID-19 vaccination by manufacturers has been constrained due to high demands for the vaccination globally, and Namibia is working with neighboring countries in an attempt to jointly acquire COVID-19 vaccine doses. Josephine Simeon, Nampa News.
Still on COVID-19. The Katutura Intermediate State Hospital has suspended outpatient services effective from today until further notice.
According to a statement issued by the medical superintendent at the hospital, Dr. Nelago Amagulu, on Monday, the suspension of the outpatient services is due to the alarming increase in cases of COVID-19 in the community and hospitals. Amagulu said the outpatient department will now be used as a COVID-19 holding and oxygenation area for patients awaiting bed availability for placement. Similarly, due to a high number of COVID-19 cases, the hospital also suspended the visiting of patients since Friday until further notice. By Friday last week, the hospital had 127 COVID beds, a number which Amagulu said is increasing daily. She further told this agency on Friday the hospital had 30 to 40 COVID-19 related patients in need of oxygen, adding that likewise the admissions are increasing daily.
And in news from beyond our borders, South Africa's Constitutional Court sentenced former President Jacob Zuma to 15 months in jail for contempt of court today after he failed to appear at a corruption inquiry earlier this year.
Zuma failed to appear at the inquiry led by Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo in February, after which the inquiry's lawyers approached the Constitutional Court to seek an order for his imprisonment. The inquiry is examining allegations of high-level graft during Zuma's period in power from 2009 to 2018. Zuma denies wrongdoing and has so far not cooperated. A Constitutional Court judge said, reading out the court's order, Mr. Jacob Zuma is sentenced to undergo 15 months imprisonment. Zuma has to appear before police within 5 days, the judge added. A spokesman for Zuma told ENCA-TV that the former president would issue a statement later without elaborating. The allegations against Zuma include that he allowed businessmen close to him, brothers Atul Ajay and Rajesh Gupta, to plunder state resources and to influence policy. The Guptas, who also deny wrongdoing, left South Africa after Zuma was ousted in a move orchestrated by allies of his successor, President Cyril Ramaphosa. Ramaphosa has been trying to restore investor confidence in Africa's most industrialized nation. However, he has faced opposition from a faction within the governing African National Congress Party that is still loyal to Zuma.
After 4 years as the Republic of Congo's ambassador to Namibia, Chantal Maurice Itua Apoyolo bade farewell to President Dr. Hage Geingob at State House today.
Itua Apoyolo said the two countries hold solid bilateral relations in areas such as education, sports, culture, defense, and economics. She indicated that some of the bilateral treaties have been signed and are ready for implementation. However, due to the global COVID-19 pandemic, the execution could not commence before the end of her tenure. The ambassador said signing agreements is the first step. However, the biggest challenge is the implementation of these projects, of which I can assure my successor will progress. Itua Apoyolo extended gratitude to the Namibian people, the President and First Lady Monica Gingos for providing a conducive environment for her countrymen and women who find themselves in Namibia. On his part, Geingob said Namibia and Congo's relationship stems from the liberation struggle years, noting that Congo supported the SWAPO party through solidarity and diplomacy at the United Nations. The head of state added, Namibia always recognizes those who supported her during our struggle years. We are a child of the international community and Congo was one of the countries that supported us.
Stand by for your top roundup. And now let's have a look into the latest business and economics news. Residents of Greenwell Matongo in Windhoek are up in arms over the construction of a fuel station in the residential area as they fear it poses a safety hazard.
The residents also want to know how City of Windhoek allowed the rezoning of 2 residential plots into business plots. Some acknowledge that they were aware that the plots was to be rezoned for business purposes as the public notice were erected by City of Windhoek, but that they were not aware that it would ultimately be used for the construction of a fuel station. Although some residents are happy with the prospects presented, such as employment and development, some were opposed to the project, particularly for safety reasons. In an interview with Nampa, concerned resident Jackson Govaova, who lives 2 houses from the construction site, said it is unfair that the city allowed such a business to be opened near houses, even following various objections in 2020. He said residents also alerted former Samora Machel constituency councillor Fanwo Shivute of their grievances. Approached for comment, Shivute said he objected to the construction as well, but his pleas fell under deaf ears. He went as far as approaching former Windhoek Mayor Francina Kahungu to register the concerns. In his then capacity as councillor, he too did not see it fit for such a business to be developed in the area, hence he informed the mayor. Incumbent councillor Nesta Kalola agreed with his predecessor, saying in the event of a fire, City of Windhoek will have to be taken to task and held accountable over their negligence. Approached for comment, City of Windhoek Public Relations Officer Harold Akwenye said the business is situated on 2 residential plots that were rezoned, which he said is common practice. He also rubbished allegations of corruption, saying everything is being done above board and all the necessary planning procedures were applied for before the construction was given the green light. He also rubbished accusation that the residents were never consulted, saying public notices were placed in local newspapers and notice boards erected in the area. The approval includes the environmental clearance certificate, which was granted by the Environmental Commissioner, he added. The service station is owned by Lion Gate Investment, whose general manager and spokesperson Isaac Mukete said the construction was approved by the City Council after meeting all the prescribed processes, which includes public participation, noting that no objections were submitted by the community. He noted that the service station proposal was submitted based on the need and desirability of a service station, including the development trajectory and prospect that Evelyn Street was declared a business development corridor. Mukete further indicated that all equipment is installed according to international standards, ensuring safety for people and the environment. Josephine Simeon, Nampe News.
Hardap Governor Reverend Solomon April on Monday handed over 2 houses that are currently being built for 2 elderly women aged 103 and 105 at Gibeon Village.
The 2 houses are part of the Hardap Governor's Office's social program, an initiative aimed at celebrating the elderly for their contribution towards the independence of Namibia and restoring their dignity. The governor said, "I believe that we had elderly who fought for this country's independence. We are here to celebrate ages above 100 years. We are trying to demonstrate appreciation for the most senior among the seniors. These are the people who know where we were and what brought us here, and we can learn from them. We are trying to restore our seniors' human dignity." April said his office will continue building houses for those that are above the age of 100 in all the constituencies in the region. The governor called on business people and individuals to assist his office in building the houses. Houses consist of 1 bedroom, a toilet and kitchen, valued between 50,000 and 60,000 Namibian dollars.
It's time for the Business and Economics Roundup. That's all the top news we had for you this evening. Kindly stand by for tonight's sports update with Shalva Wells.
Thank you, Salima. In our sports news tonight, we commence with Euro 2020 news. The tournament was supposed to be the next step on Kylian Mbappe's path to greatness and France's golden chance to become world and European champions, only for their campaign to end with a painful failure in a penalty shootout. A defeat on penalties by Switzerland, with Mbappe having the decisive spot kick saved after a remarkable 3-3 draw in the last 16, saw France become the first World Cup holders who failed to reach the Euro quarter-finals since Italy did not qualify for the tournament in 1984. The recall of the exiled Karim Benzema had appeared to further strengthen the team, who lifted football's biggest prize 3 years ago, but Didier Deschamps' men never managed to hit those heights again. Questions will be asked in France of why a team boasting a plethora of attacking talent were unable to beat Hungary and Switzerland, with Deschamps' tactics, Mbappe's lack of goals and a shaky defense sure to be under the microscope. It's very difficult to move on from this, Mbappe said on social media. There's an immense sadness after this elimination, he concluded. Moving on to international rugby, the South African rugby president Mark Alexander has accepted that there will be no fans at stadiums for the British and Irish Lions series, but is confident the COVID-19 protocols in place will allow all scheduled games to go ahead.
The Lions, who will face the Springboks in 3 tests from July 24, have arrived in South Africa with the country gripped by a third wave of COVID-19 infections, prompting tightened restrictions including a 9 p.m. curfew. The country, the worst hit on the African continent in terms of recorded cases and deaths, reported almost 18,000 new cases on Saturday, approaching the peak of daily infections seen in a second wave in January. The Springboks reported 3 positive COVID-19 cases in their camp on Sunday. Though scrum half Herschel Jantjies was later cleared after a second test, which had called the fate of the tour into question. Alexander told South Africa's Sport 24, however, that they were moving forward. The Springboks have not played a test since winning the Rugby World Cup in November 2019, and the resulting loss of revenue forced SA Rugby to shave 1.2 billion rands off their budget for 2020. Alexander said that had the Lions series been cancelled and the Springboks went through another year without playing a test, it could have spelled the end of professional rugby in South Africa. If we did not play rugby this year, we would have closed our doors, he said. South African rugby depends on generating money, of which 99.9% comes from playing.
Your sports roundup is next. That's all the news we had for you this evening. We thank you for tuning in. As always, give us a thumbs up and share. If you are new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe. Also click on the notifications bell to stay posted on the latest happenings locally and globally. Once more, we urge you to mask up, sanitize and adhere to all stipulated health protocols. Catch us on the morrow for your daily dose of primetime news. From myself and the entire team behind the scenes, it's good night.